These 5 exercises are in every gym on the planet. Millions of people do them every single day, and they build close to zero muscle. But there's something worse: injury. 2 of these exercises are putting your shoulders in a position that a 2011 study in the Strength and Conditioning Journal called a direct path to impingement, which really sucks. Also, one exercise was tested in a 12-week MRI study against a simple swap. Just for context, imagine doing a dumbbell bench press instead of a barbell one. So, same people, sets, and weight. And you know what happened? The alternative built almost double the muscle. But enough talking. The first exercise is one of the most popular arm exercises on earth, and it's going to upset a lot of you. The exercise where guys are bent over, kicking a little dumbbell behind them, squeezing at the top, thinking they're building bigger triceps. You know the name, dumbbell triceps kickback. So now I want you to visualize this. You're bent over. The dumbbell is in your hand. Gravity pulls straight down. So at the bottom of the movement, when your arm is bent, the dumbbell is just hanging there. It's not fighting your triceps at all. It's just dead weight in space. The only time the exercise actually gets hard is at the very top, when your arm is fully extended behind you. So out of the entire movement, you're only working your triceps for a tiny portion. The rest is just swinging. But here's what makes it even worse. A 2025 study tested what happens when you grab a heavier dumbbell on kickbacks. You'd think heavier weight means more muscle work, right? That's how every other exercise works. But not this one. They found no connection between adding weight and increasing muscle contraction. So every time you grabbed a bigger dumbbell, thinking you're progressing, nothing really changed inside the muscle. Now let me show you why this matters. Mayo and his team published a study in 2023 in the European Journal of Sports Science. They took 21 people, trained one arm with overhead extensions, where your arm is above your head and the triceps are stretched, trained the other arm in a neutral position, similar to where your arm sits during a kickback. Same everything. The overhead version grew the whole triceps by 19.9%, the other position 13.9%, and the long head, which is the biggest part of your triceps, the part that actually makes your arm look big, grew 28.5% versus 19.6%. You know why? Because muscles grow more when they're stretched under load. That's what the research keeps showing over and over. So, what should you do instead? Overhead cable extensions, skull crushers, anything that puts your arm above your head. That's where the growth is. Now, the second exercise. And if you're doing this right now, I get it. I really do. It feels safe, it looks like you're squatting, but you're not. I'm talking about the Smith machine. Walk into any commercial gym and you'll see the same thing. Someone loads up the Smith machine with 4 plates, squats down a few inches, racks it, and walks away feeling like a beast. And I'm not even hating, but the Smith machine does something sneaky. It makes you feel stronger than you actually are. Here's why. The bar is locked on 2 rails. It can only go straight up and straight down. And your body doesn't squat in a straight line. Nobody does. When you squat naturally, the bar moves in a slight curve. Your hips drift back and your knees track at whatever angle your bones are built for. I mean, we're all built a little differently. The Smith machine doesn't care. It says you're going straight up and straight down whether your skeleton likes it or not. And over time, that's how you end up with knee pain you can't explain and a lower back that hates you on Tuesdays. But listen to this. Schwanbeck and his team wanted to find out what happens to your muscles. So, they published a study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, took the same people, had them squat with a free barbell, then squat on a Smith machine. The result? The free barbell squat activated 43% more muscle. Now, let me put that in a way that actually hits. Imagine you go to work. You put in a full 8-hour shift, but your boss says, "Sorry, I'm only paying you for 4.5 hours. That's the Smith machine. You showed up, you did the reps, you sweated, but your muscles only got paid for about half the work. So, grab a real barbell. If the balance freaks you out, start with just the empty bar. Because here's the truth. A 135-pound barbell squat is building more muscle than a 225-pound Smith machine squat. That's not me talking trash. That's what science says.
I don't talk trash, I speak the truth.
Now, let's talk about the behind the neck lat pull down. And this one has been around forever. Your dad probably probably did it, his dad probably did it, and it needs to stop. I know it looks hardcore, old school, like something from a 70s bodybuilding documentary. And people do it because they believe pulling behind the head hits the lats harder than pulling to the front. It doesn't at all. Spirande and his team published a study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research. 24 trained men. They did pull-downs behind the neck and pull-downs to the front. There was almost zero difference in lat activation. But here's where it gets interesting. The front pull-down actually activated more chest and more rear deltoid. So you're getting equal lat work and bonus muscle from the front version. The behind the neck version gives you nothing extra, nothing. Also, when you pull a bar behind your neck, your shoulder has to do something really ugly. It externally rotates, meaning it twists outward while simultaneously being pulled down with heavy weight. Picture holding your arms up like someone's pointing a gun at you, that hands up position. Now imagine someone strapping a heavy barbell to your hands and yanking it down. That's what this exercise does to your shoulder joint every single rep. So just pull to the front, lean back about 30 degrees, wide grip, and your shoulders stay healthy for the next 30 years of training. Now, before I reveal the name of the fourth exercise, I need to tell you about one study first, because it's one of the coolest experiments I've ever seen. What if we take one person and train their left leg with one exercise and their right leg with a different exercise? They got 20 people to do this twice a week for 12 weeks. Then they stuck both legs in an MRI machine, which is basically a giant tube that takes pictures of the muscle itself, not the skin, not the pump, the actual meat. And here's what they found. One leg grew 14.1%, the other leg grew 9.3%. Now imagine walking around with a left leg that looks swole and a right leg that looks like it's been skipping gym for a month. That's basically what happened to these guys for science.
Yes, science!
So what were the two exercises? Lying leg curl versus seated leg curl. That's it? That was the whole difference. Now here's the funny part. 99% of gyms only have the lying leg curl. You walk into any commercial gym and that's the one everyone lines up for. And it's the worst version by a lot. Okay, so why does lying down suck? Let me explain it in the dumbest, simplest way possible. Your hamstrings are like rubber bands, and rubber bands only work when they're stretched. A loose rubber band just sits there, floppy, useless, nothing happens. When you lie face down on the leg curl, your body is basically flat, straight. Your hips aren't bent, and when your hips aren't bent, your hamstrings are in loose rubber band mode. You're curling the weight, sure, but the muscle is barely being asked to do anything at the start. You're basically trying to train a noodle. Now sit up. Your hips bend, suddenly those same hamstrings get pulled long. They're stretched, tight, and loaded. Now, when you curl the weight, the muscle has to fight from the very first inch. Muscles that get stretched under weight grow more. That's just how they work. It's not a theory, it's in study after study after study. And the lying leg curl does the opposite. It's like going to the gym and paying a membership to train a noodle twice a week. I saved this exercise for last on purpose, because the other four on this list, they waste your time. But this one can take the gym away from you completely. Let me paint you a picture. It's Tuesday, shoulder day. You walk into the gym feeling good, you grab a barbell, hands close together, and you start yanking it up to your chin, elbows flaring, jaw clenched. You're hitting shoulders and traps at the same time. Two birds, one stone. Smart, right? It's called the upright row. And every rep with this exercise is like playing a slot machine in some fancy casino. And the prize is a torn rotator cuff. Here's what I mean. Right now, lift your arm straight out in front of you. Easy, no pain. Now rotate your hand so your thumb points toward the ground. Feel that little weird tension in the front of your shoulder? Hold it there. Now imagine someone hands you a 60-pound barbell in that exact position and tells you to do 12 reps. Inside your shoulder, there's a tunnel, a tiny passageway between two bones. And running through that tunnel are tendons that need room to glide. When you rotate your shoulder inward and lift, that tunnel collapses and the tendons get crushed against the bone above them. The worst part is that you don't feel a thing. Not at first. It's a slow leak, drip by drip, until one day you reach for your seatbelt and a lightning bolt of pain shoots through your shoulder and you have no idea where it came from. Spoiler alert, it came from Tuesdays. Now, here's the part that should really make you angry. Imagine you found out your favorite restaurant was serving you food that occasionally made you sick. You'd stop going, right? Of course. But what if I told you the food was also worse than the restaurant across the street? Smaller portions, less flavor, worse ingredients. Now, you're not just risking your health, you're also getting ripped off while you do it. That's the upright row. Not only does it injure people, it doesn't even build muscle properly. McAllister and his team published a study in 2013 in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research. They tested 3 grip widths: narrow, medium, and wide. And the narrow grip, the one 99% of guys use, produced the lowest shoulder activation of all 3. The lowest. Now, if you want to hit your delts, just grab 2 dumbbells. Lift them out to the sides until your arms are parallel to the floor. That's a lateral raise. It takes like 10 seconds to learn. It activates your delts more than any upright row ever will. And in 20 years, when your friends are getting cortisone shots and shopping for shoulder surgeons, you'll still be lifting.